Today's a big day. We're going to be learning how to crush with early f4 in the opening from the white perspective. I'm going to be streaming on YouTube. So by the time you're seeing this, I might be streaming. I just got to go pick some things up and put them down for about an hour, and then I'm going to start streaming. So we're going to be looking at two games. One against a CM, a crappy master from Bulgaria, and another against a 2700 where I got a 100 accuracy game. The nice thing about f4, it's kind of systems based. If they go c5, you play a Grand Prix. If they play the perk or the modern, you play either into a Grand Prix transposition or into a Vienna. So it's very nice. Many people are just deterred by playing f4 because of the move pawn to d5, and that's why I chose these two games, because they both include the Falkbeer counter gambit, which people don't like playing against. So I'm going to show you how I recommend playing against it. And this is going to throw them off a lot. f4 is going to throw them off a lot. If they just play normal chess, they're going to lose. They need to know the theory behind it. That is why we are doing some of this. I'm also going to revamp my playlist so it's more organized, so you guys will see everything there. You should take the pawn on d5. Now they have three moves. They have push, takes, or queen takes. I believe the best move and the most testing move is pawn to e4. You really need to know your stuff as white here. The only move to include an advantage in this position is pawn to d3. What are they going to do now? I don't think they're going to take this and allow for knight c3. I don't think they're going to take and allow for clean development. So they're going to go knight to f6, attacking the pawn on d5, defending the pawn on e4. You should take the pawn on e4. That removes the choice of them to take on d5, so they have to take on e4. Now this is a very critical move, and that move is knight to f3. Stopping any h4 check, maybe opening up for castling, and then they play this annoying move bishop to c5. So this is what people hate, but there is a refutation to this. But it kind of looks like a fried liver, but better. It looks like white's going to have some problems both castling and protecting his pieces from the f2 fork. What's the winning move here? I call it winning for lack of a better word, but queen to e2. Queen to e2 is the winning move. Whatever they do, you're going to go knight to c3 and exploit the pin. Right? They can't go queen takes d5. We'll talk about why, because that is what happens, just a move later. Most people go check. A very strong looking move. Right? They don't want to lose their knight. They want to shift your king, and then they take on d5 with check. What do you do here? The only winning move is knight to d2, but actually knight f to d2. The reason you want to bring the f knight to d2 is so that you could bring this one to c3 and further exploit. And you see everything is just collapsing from black's perspective. They go f5, you just go knight c3, you're winning material. You're winning a clean piece. And many people don't know. I've gotten GMs in this trap, IMs, FMs, CMs, everything of the sort. He played the best move, castling, which I've actually never seen before. I took the knight with the queen. Right, it's still a piece is a piece. He gives his switch, a check. Block it with the bishop. He trades queens. Plays a check. The check is blocked. He takes, I take. He retreats and resigns because he's just down a clean piece. I'd go rook e1, manually castle, get my pieces out, don't get pinned, don't lose a piece, and you win. So that's a cool chess trap you will get people with. Now let's say they don't fall into that. If takes, knight f3, queen takes is what happens. So this is typically a transposition with queen takes. Knight c3 gains a tempo on the queen. And now it's really up to them. Why is queen c6 a blunder? Queen c6 is a blunder because of bishop to b5. Depending on what rating you are, maybe your opponents will play that. So in this game, he went queen a5, kind of playing it like a Scandi. Most people go queen to e6, seeing a discovery on the king. Now, the best move is f takes e5, but what I'm going to recommend you play is knight to f3. As some of you guys know, some of the OGs, I got OG Nemsko in this trap like 4 times. You know, one of the more annoying chess influencers, if not the most annoying. You know, most women, when they speak, just annoy me. They're just like annoying. Everything that comes out of their mouth, you're like, yeah. And to me, she's like the epitome of that. Everything is like wah, wah, wambulance. Victim, wah wah, annoying, so annoying, yeah. So yeah, but oh, back to the trap. What she fell into was king to f2, bishop to c5 check, pawn to d4, bishop goes back, You give the check on b5, and now you guys might be seeing it. Rook t8 wins the queen. So c6, rook t1, rather, not rook t8, wins the queen. So it's a good position, and you can get, you know, titled players even in this trap. So what this guy does, he's a bit better. Goes queen a5. He's like, I don't want to fall into the trap. I'm not going to fall into the trap. And I didn't know this, so I just took. And I do recommend this move because you're just going to get development. Equal game. Equal game is all you... Not equal game even. You get the open F file. Right? If you get a non-confusing position with the King's Gambit, you just win. That's the thing. That's the thing. So knight to c6, knight to f3. I drew Nigel short, and I think that game was actually a King's Gambit. It's on chess.com. Check it out. Was it a King's Gambit? I don't recall. But knight to f3 attacks the queen. The queen is pinned. Queen takes queen, bishop takes. We get knight to f6 development. All right. These types of positions, you actually need to be oddly accurate in to not lose the threat. Right? If both sides castle, get their pieces out, it's an equal game. May the best man win. I don't want the best man to win. I mean, I do want the best man to win. The best man in this position played knight to b5. Challenging c7, the weak square. Right? What is he going to do? I don't think he really should go bishop to d6 because this isolates a pawn. Right? No neighbors, no c, no e. Lonely guy. Weak guy. So what does he do? He goes king t8, d8, right? Guarding c7. Logical. Now, if I was really good at chess, I'd go knight to g... That's so gross. That's so gross. Wow. Okay, well, I played castle because I'm not the best. Not the greatest. We get bishop to g4, pawn to h3. I'm like, get out of here. Pawn to a6. That's a mistake. Right? He tried complicating the position, but it's really not that complicated. What should he have done? What should he have done? He should have taken and given me the bishop pair. I would have been more than happy with that. I would have been thriving with that. But he plays a6. What do you do here? Do you move the knight? You do not move the knight. You move the knight, they get a check, they get all this counterplay, not worth it. Take the bishop, they take the knight. g5. Forcing the knight to move. And your knight defends g5, so you're going to just win a clean pawn. You're just going to win a clean pawn, not to mention you have the bishop pair. They give this spite check. Many titled players do for some reason. I'm assuming many titled players also will not. And why does this lose? Of course you're going to find the move, but find the idea. Find the way it loses. Well, it loses because remember that king that got forced over to the d file? That king's not going to have the best day after the move pawn to d4. Right? Bishop takes. You would just take with knight, they take back, and they get pinned. If they defend, they get pressure added, and then they collapse. What did he do? He did knight takes. Don't take. You can't pin a piece when you're in check, so pin the piece first. Pin the piece first. And you're just winning. You are actually just winning. It doesn't even tactically work out for him. There's so many good moves here. I'd probably just do this, right? Takes with check. Takes, everything wins. So in this position, he went knight to d5, trying to complicate it. Not so complicated. Knight takes rook to e8 and bishop to f3. Right? Don't forget about the fact that that guy is pinned. Put it on a good diagonal. We get pawn to c6. Took that, right? Cashing out. Cashing out because look at this pawn structure. That is disgusting. That's gross. We get king h2. Getting out of the pin. He activates his rook. I take a free pawn, collapsing his pawn structure. Gives a spite check. That pawn is defended. So I take that pawn with a discovery. And yeah, we're just wrapping up. Just about the end of the game. He goes for some like weird checkmating threat. But it doesn't work, right? Boom, boom. Boom. I don't know. It doesn't quite work. I actually gave it some credibility. And went pawn to b4, but it's actually the best move, so I was happy about that. And then I was like, oh, I'm just going to take. In this position, he resigned. So I highly recommend you guys play f4. It's very good. The King's Gambit is not refuted. It's fantastic. It's a fun time. Put some hair on your chest. Be a man. Play some gambits. Play early f4. That's all I got to say. Thank you as always for watching. Maybe see you later on stream. Peace.